On today's episode, we are going to talk about how to rise to your greatness. Welcome to Let's Grow Together. My name is Nick Bonatadabis, motivational speaker and digital marketing strategist. And this podcast is all about helping you grow both in life and business. Let's dive in. So this past week, yesterday at the time of this recording, I went to a high school reunion, my 10-year, and it was an absolute blast. And it was really interesting to see everyone and especially kind of to hear people's feedback about things that I've been doing. People commenting on seeing me on Facebook or feeling like they see me all the time because of the things that I do online. And I do want to get into that, but I kind of want to talk about where it started and how everything started from growing up, before, and what high school was about, who I was before I started doing all of these things, because I feel like it really sets the precedent. And I hope that it kind of will inspire you in a sense that I haven't always been like this. And, judging by some of the feedback that I heard from the reunion, other people agreed. There was a level of surprise to see that I'm doing the things that I'm doing. But I also want to share how you can rise to your greatness by understanding some key some key points that I want to share with, and how I kind of came to that technique and how it came to be, because it wasn't always like this. And I certainly wasn't always able to do these things, to talk in front of people and open up and share who I am and, be transparent of what's going on. And so, when I was in high school, I definitely considered myself more of the shy type, more reserved. I certainly wasn't the guy that was getting a lot of attention or bringing attention to myself. Even in sports, I was never, standing out the most. I was MVP for my senior year of baseball, but besides that, I still, even getting that title, I was not the guy that was hitting the home runs. I was not the guy, I did the little things to stand out. But from a personality standpoint, it was, hard for me to do those things. I used to have trouble asking girls to dances. I remember that being the most horrifying thing, having to ask somebody to a dance in person. And, so I was that person. I was super shy. I was reserved. And, from the feedback that I heard, I think that there were people at the reunion that kind of felt that they were similar to me. And I think that was part of it, was that they were surprised of, me sharing that insight, because I think I was relatable to them. We used to talk, we were similar. We weren't the most popular guys. We weren't the guys talking to the girls. We weren't standing out from people. We weren't what a lot of people call extroverted. I always considered myself an introvert, and that may be surprising also. And I don't like to use the introvert extrovert term too much, because I think that it's not necessarily a set in stone thing. It's not necessarily it's not a black and white. It's not, you're an introvert, you're an extrovert. And for me, I definitely was much more on the introverted side of things in high school. And then throughout college, I became more extroverted. And, through that experience. But one thing that I really wanted to share, and it's kind of the theme of today's episode, is that, they were asking me at the reunion, a couple of different people asked me, what's the secret? What do I do to be able to perform on stages, to, share the insights of, online, to open myself up to video? And the real funny thing is, the number one thing, so there's two things, but the number one thing is, I don't care. Boom. Dropping it on you. Yes, the biggest thing that I would say is a secret is not caring what people think. And that's the biggest thing. It's such a huge part of this, of being able to put yourself in the spotlight because you don't care about the everyone liking you. That's the biggest thing. It's not that I don't care about what people think of me. Obviously, that's a thing. If I did, I would, just do whatever. But it's a level of not caring about what everyone thinks. And I think that's the common misconception, is like everyone wants to be liked by everyone. And, if you're liked by everyone, you're liked by no one. And to me, it's not a thing. No matter what, no matter whether you're creating a movie or, cooking food, there's people out there that aren't going to like it. There's people that aren't going to like what you're sharing, that aren't going to, mesh with what you're saying. And that's the whole beauty of it. Because what happens when you open up and you share who you are and what you're about, then the people that are like you come to you. And that's what's been so amazing, because the more that I started to open up about who I am and what I'm about and what I'm trying to share and what my mission is and what my goals are, the more of those type of people that come to me. And a lot of times people are trying to get other people, or they're go-getters, they're trying to get people to like them, versus being who you are and letting those people come to you. And to come back to the whole I don't care thing, it's really funny because I grew up with that terminology, that saying, I don't care, in my household was probably worse than saying the F word. Whenever I said, I don't care, to my dad specifically, it was bad. It was not okay. And most of the time it was because it was things that were important. It was things like, maybe I didn't do so well on a grade or something like that. And it's like, I don't care. You know how kids are, that's, I feel like a saying that a lot of people say. And, growing up, there was a certain presence or certain way of portraying yourself in our family, and how we wanted to be seen, and how, the proper way to be seen. I remember I had a mohawk one time, and it was like I did it at baseball, and it was very temporary, and my parents were not happy, and it didn't last long. But again, it was about, not bringing negative attention to yourself. But what also happens is you're not bringing any attention to yourself. So I was almost raised in a world of trying to just blend in and to not necessarily be seen, which is, okay. And a lot of people are doing that. But in a world of, if you have a mission and you have a message that you want to share, or you have a business that you want to promote, it has to be, you have to be seen. Marketing 101 is attention, and being able to have that attention, and bring that attention towards yourself. But the biggest thing is the impact of your mission. So what are you trying to share that you want people to hear? Like, what do you want to talk about? And again, it goes back to the caring about what other people think, because the impact that you're going to have when you share your message for those that need to hear it is going to be so much greater. And worrying about the people that aren't going to get the message is hurting the people that need to hear your message. I share this all the time in my courses and my programs when it comes to video, because the number two thing of not caring. So first thing is don't care about what other people think. And number two is focusing on the mission. I don't care about the people that don't want to hear what I have to say. All I care about is getting my mission across, getting my message across, so that I can help the people that do. And when you sacrifice yourself, your fear of being judged for the people that need to hear your message is when the impact comes. And so when it comes to putting yourself out there and sharing yourself and you're scared, and I understand, I've been there, I've been horrified of hitting that publish button. I know what it's like. I've been there. But when I started doing it consistently and started seeing the responses and the feedback that happens, and it is powerful. And when you focus on that one person, that your message could help, or your, business, your training, whatever you're trying to teach people, and you focus on that one person that you can help, then that's all that matters. You not sharing your message, your mission with the world is selfish. You have a responsibility. You have a duty. You have an obligation that if you have information in your head and you have a message to share, you have a responsibility. I use this quote in a lot of my presentations that I give. And yes, it's from Spider-Man. But with great power comes great responsibility. And, yes, I'm a little bit of a superhero nerd if you know me well. But I believe in that mission. And you don't have to have superpowers to share your message. Okay? You just have to be willing to put yourself out there and not worry about what other people are going to think. And when you start to do that, amazing, amazing things start to happen. Now, to go back to the transition of where this really happened, because, in high school, again, that's how I was. I cared so much about what people thought of me. I wanted so badly to be, liked and, popular, like so many people do in high school. And it's funny to think about it now, how much it doesn't matter at all. But when I went to college, I brought those same fears, those same judgments of what it was, that I was still scared of that judgment of opening myself up and being that person. And I'll never forget, because he's still one of my best friends today, but a friend that I met in college, and he really did not care about what other people thought of him. At least in from the exterior, I'm not in his head, but, he used to do like ridiculous things, and it was amazingly entertaining and funny, and we would laugh, and it was a great time. And I'd be like, don't do that. What are you doing? Like, what is this? And I was projecting my own fear of judgment about what people would think of him, and potentially what people would think of me because I'm hanging out with him. And what he was really doing was just trying to entertain and have fun with people, and that's what he was doing. And that was his goal, was just to have fun. And he didn't care about what other people thought of him. And when I started to see that, it was such a trait that I wanted to acquire. It was something that I really wanted to be more like that. Not necessarily all of the things, it's not necessarily doing things that could get you in trouble or things of that sort, but not caring about what other people think. Maybe people that are walking by, like, who cares? When you're walking down the street and maybe you want to share a story on your Instagram, but you're worried about what, other people may think that are walking by, like, oh, look at him on his phone, or you're like, who's he talking to? And it's like, who cares about those people walking along the street? Like, you want to share your message, you want to, go on your story, you want to go live when you're walking down the street, do it. Who cares what those other people think? If you got a mission and you got a message you want to share it. And the more that you start to do this, the more that just amazing things start to happen. I mean, it happened for me, but again, back to the college days, because there was a more aspect, and this is a growth show. The show is all about growing. And so I want to share my stories of growth and how I grew, because this isn't an overnight thing. This isn't just how all of a sudden I was. All of a sudden, I'm speaking on stages and I'm doing these things and I'm doing videos and going live, and for me, it's really easy now, but it wasn't easy when I first started doing it. And I love sharing this story because when I was in college and, alcohol, the big thing, when you go to college, that's always the big thing. And I didn't drink much in high school. It was, very little. Oh no, did I just confess of underage drinking? Sorry, parents. But when you go to college, you start to drink. So I started to kind of come out of my shell a little bit. I started to, be more outgoing and talk to more people and not worry so much about what people think, because that's what happens when you drink alcohol. You lose that inhibition a little bit, and then so you're more comfortable. It's the same reason why people like to have a drink or two before a date, because it relaxes them, allows them to open up a little bit more. And what I saw in myself when I drank, I liked that person. I liked who that person was. I liked how they carried themselves. I liked that they were more outgoing and willing to talk to people. And what I saw in other people is a lot of people felt that they just would need to drink to be that way. And what I took from that when I started drinking was I wanted to be more like that person when I wasn't drinking. And that was a conscious effort and a conscious thought that I had, and it showed. Now, there's other things that happen, meeting groups of people and being a part of a fraternity was very impactful, and coming out of my shell also, and really just coming into my own and being confident into who I am. And that's such a huge part of being able to share your message, because you need to be comfortable with who you are to share the message that you're trying to get across. In order to open up online or on video or on a podcast, or even just in written text on a social media post, there's a level of being comfortable with what you're sharing and being okay with sharing that into the world. And this is me and this is how I am. And as long as it's still the constant growth, because again, I'm always trying to grow and always trying to do more. And I'm always trying to share the messages and of who I am and the stories that I go through, because I believe that those messages can help other people, because those things have helped me grow. And if it can help me grow, then it's very likely that it can help other people grow. And that's what this is all about. It's all about growing. And the one thing that I found really interesting, so multiple people commented on, 2 people specifically commented on them being surprised that I was doing what I was doing. And it wasn't like a negative thing. To me, it was a fantastic compliment. But basically because they knew who I was in high school, and I think that they resonated with me. They knew that I was similar to them in a sense of being that, introverted and reserved. And so they respected and admired the fact that I was willing to do this, that I was willing to put myself out there and do these things. And, it was so awesome to hear that, because I wanted to share that today. I wanted to share that message with you, because I wasn't always like this. You can be more like this. You can be more outgoing. You can share your message. You can do video. You can write long social media posts where you're opening up about things. It's the transition. It's the transformation that I wanted to share, in that you can have the same transformation if you work towards it and you understand and have a focus on what you're trying to do and who you're trying to help. And that is the biggest thing. Yes, I did say I don't care, but the real focus is on the who can I help? Who can I help? I've talked to people before. I remember I was talking to one of my friends' girlfriends, now wife, and she struggled with anorexia or bulimia, and wanted to share that with the world to help other people, but she was a little nervous and scared to do that. And I tried to encourage her too, and I've seen more posts from her of her actually sharing and opening up a little bit and being comfortable with sharing that, because again, by sharing something that's personal, again, it also inspires other people to do the same. And being transparent and being personal is what people can resonate with, and talking about the struggles. If I got up and I just said, I was great right out of the womb, like, who's going to relate to that? That's not believable. It's not realistic. And it's not something that people can get behind and relate to. And that's how the impact really happens. That's how the transformation happens. I hope that you can relate to this message and what I'm sharing. And maybe you're similar to me, and maybe you think that you're an introvert, or maybe you are an introvert. But just because you are an introvert doesn't mean you can't do things that are more extroverted. Just because you're an introvert doesn't mean you can't do video or open up about who you are on social media. It may be more difficult for you, but that doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means it'll be that much more powerful and that much more rewarding when you do step out of your comfort zone and you do that thing that scares you, that thing that's horrifying. Because that's where magic happens, in the fear of not knowing how people are going to react. But was so amazing to be at this reunion and hear so many people talk about being impacted by the things that I was sharing. And that was amazing. So if that was you and you were there, thank you. It means the world to me that people take the time to listen. So thank you to you also. And if you're not, you weren't there, but it just means the world to me that people are willing to listen, because I believe I have a lot to share that I know can help people. And that's my whole mission. I just want to help people. I want to share the things that are going on in my life. I want to share the stories. I want to share the successes. I want to share the struggles so that I can help other people and that they can relate to it. And look, I don't have everything figured out, and I think that's a big thing that, if you've seen my videos previously that I talk about that life's not about having it all figured out, that these are the things, and that I'm not going through struggles myself. I am in an entrepreneurial world, and as of late, it's, official, and it's scary. I'm horrified. I'm happy. I'm excited. And it goes back to doing things that scare you, because I'm certainly scared. I'm confident that I can be successful, but I still have the fear that I could fail. And that's the whole thing, is being scared, but still going through with it. And that's where you are, reveal who you are and what you're made of, to be able to come out of that fear and rise to the fear. Everyone's scared when you step onto a stage, when you step out in a video. It's scary. I know. Every time it can be scary. Going live, I get it. I've been there. I understand. But when you do those things and you share what is deep inside you that you want to share, that you're burning inside of you, It's amazing. It's amazing. I cannot express this enough of how amazing it is when you open up yourself to the world and share yourself, share your deep desires, share your deep messages, share who you are, and not be afraid of who you are or what people are going to say. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's the most powerful, amazing thing that has changed my life. And it hasn't, it's not that doing these things all of a sudden, I started making billions of dollars or something like that. It's that when I did these things, I finally felt that I was doing something, that I was sharing my message, that I was sharing my mission of something that was burning and deep inside me that I wanted to do so badly, wanting to help people, wanting to do more. I was struggling. I was having a hard time because I felt like I was meant for more. And I know that we are all meant for more. We are all meant to do bigger things. If you have a mission, you have a message, you have to share it. Because amazing things are going to happen when you do. I promise you that. I promise you that when you open yourself up to the world, you're going to get an amazing response. And I don't say that in regards to you're going to get 1,000 likes or 1 million views on your video. Nope. No, you're probably going to get less. You're probably going to get less likes and you're going to get less views than something else that you've posted in the past. But it's not about the quantity. It's about the quality of the people. I don't have millions of followers. I don't get hundreds of thousands of views on my videos. But the people that do, and the people that are watching and that are getting an impact is amazing. And I don't worry about the people that aren't watching anymore. I have best friends that don't listen or watch me. And that's fine. It's not their shtick. And I don't judge them for that either. It's okay. It doesn't take away from our friendship. It's fine. But when you're able to create a community of people that are similar to you, that resonate with you, your message is going to become so much more powerful and impactful when you just speak your truth. So I encourage you to speak your truth and share your message and share your mission. It is not easy, and it doesn't happen overnight. But I encourage you to share. I encourage you to open yourself up and share your thoughts, because you never know the impact that you could have on someone. And when people have told me, and from a social media standpoint, people don't always like or comment or send you a message about how your message has impacted them. It doesn't happen. But what I have found is that people are more willing to share that message when I see them in person. And so that was a clear example of what happened at the reunion, where people were telling me how, I helped them in some way, or that I brightened up their day on a Monday with a positive video. They just loved that there was positive vibes. And that's amazing. I mean, that's so amazing. And I don't mind that they don't like or comment. It's okay. They told me in person, which is really cool. And this isn't the first time that this has happened. This has happened many times before, when I see somebody and they tell me that they've seen it or they've impacted it, even though I had no idea. And that's kind of part of it too, is that you're not doing it for the likes or for the views or, the praise. That's not what it's about. And if that's what you're about, I don't think it's going to work for you, unfortunately. But if you come from a place of service, a place of helping people, it becomes a lot easier. So I'll conclude with that, in that I don't care what other people think of me. Start with that. Maybe say it. You know me, I like affirmations. I don't care about what other people think of me. I want to help people. State your mission. State your why. Come from a place of service. Every time that I do a podcast or a webinar or a presentation, it is the number one thing that I think of before I get on stage. I don't think about the audience. I don't think about, sales that maybe I'm trying to get or what people are going to think of me. I think about one thing: service. And when you focus on service, no matter what you do, you don't have to be a presenter. You don't have to be doing videos. You don't have to be, doing the things that I'm doing to come from a place of service. No matter what you do, if you come from a place of service, you're going to be much more happy and grateful for all the things that you do. Start with service, help people, and great things will happen to you, and you will rise to your greatness. We all have a mission. We all have a message that we want to share. Just all about being willing to do it. Are you going to regret not sharing it? Do you want to live in regret because you wish you were more courageous? You wish that you didn't care so much about what other people thought of you? Focus on that one person that you can help. Share that message. Share your mission. And amazing things will happen. Take care, everyone. And remember, let's keep growing together. Wait, one more thing. I would first like to say thank you. Thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed this message, please take a moment to write a review. By writing a review, it helps people find this message and helps me help more people. And if you really, really liked it and you think this message could help someone else, take a screenshot, share it on Instagram, and please tag me at Nick J. Boni, NickJBoni, so I can show my appreciation for you. We can all win by helping each other grow. Thank you. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.